Hey everybody, Elizabeth Nader back with you on the Nader Narrative and Jersey First TV. If you've paid any attention this past summer and really this past year, there's been so much news about dead whales, dead dolphins, issues with these proposed wind farms, disruption to the shoreline, potential major disruption to fisheries and businesses that are all related to the marine life on our ocean shores here in New Jersey. What about tourism? So many issues that have been brought up throughout this past year. It's gone way beyond the special interests, and now every citizen in New Jersey has an opinion. We got some good news in the past 24 hours that some of these projects are now on hold, but the fight continues. We don't want anyone to get complacent. So today we've got an important person to talk to who's been on the forefront of this fight, Mayor Paul Kanitra from Point Pleasant Beach. Mayor, we're so happy to have you here. When I think about the wind farm fight, I think about you. How big of a deal has this been to you and to the people you serve?
Well, that means a lot. It's great to be on with you, Elizabeth. And wow, what a morning it is for everybody along the Jersey Shore. Who, if you look a year or so ago, 77% of the people along the shore were uninformed, were not aware of the wind farm coming, and they were supportive of this project. And now today it's cratered to under 30%. And we wake up to news that the project, Ocean Wind 1 and 2, are going to be scuttled because of corporate greed not working out the way that they really wanted it to. And the bailouts that we all gave them, despite our wishes, not being enough money for them. And it's just a great day for the views of our shoreline, our fishing industry, our marine life, our tourism economy, and on and on and on. And we've been proud here at Point Pleasant Beach to be at the forefront of it since we first got wind of it when I came into office 4 years ago.
Well, I really am serious when I give you props for that, because your name has become synonymous with that fight. And it's so important. You run such a great town. We spent a lot of time there this summer. There's really a difference when you go to a town that's run by a mayor like you. You can tell with the safety, with the police presence, the cleanliness, all of it. So you're fighting for your people, and we get good news. So Orsted, which is the big company that was involved in 2 installations. Now, this isn't every installation that's been canceled, but 2 installations. And we find out they're citing supply chain concerns, financial concerns, all kind of things. But at the end of the day, we know that our advocacy, and with you as one of the leaders in that, has made a difference. But we can't let down. That's 2 actually projects, 1 company that's canceled. But Mayor, the governor, in our experience with him, when he doesn't get his way, he doubles down. So we can expect him to do what now?
Well, if you look at Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days, he put out a statement, and it was one of these, I'm going to look really tough type statements. But the gist of the statement was, wow, I guess they weren't everything we thought they were. I guess they weren't financially stable the way that we thought they were. And it's total bullshit, right? I mean, the reality of the situation is I testified at the hearing where they were looking to give them over $1 billion of money meant for us ratepayers to reduce our utility bills. And I literally went down a list of all the bailouts they had gotten in the past, all the problems they had had financially in the past, all the issues with Danish oil and gas, which is really what Orsted is.
Right.
And they just didn't listen. They probably knew all this stuff anyway. I wasn't the only person out there screaming about some of this. So they knew it. It really isn't a surprise. I think the surprise to them is, hey, we took your corporate donations. We were willing to sacrifice the public well-being and our economy for you, our corporate overlords. And in the end, despite doing all that and giving you all this money, it wasn't enough for you. That's where the shock really is coming from, right? They're just shocked that they couldn't do enough to appease these guys.
Yeah, that's right. It is shocking. Absolutely. And you notice there's a bravado in the tone of Murphy's upset. He's gonna force this now. We're still gonna go forward. We're gonna find somebody else. Hopefully, Mayor, the clock runs out on Murphy, and we end up with a governor elected in 25 who says enough of this. Now, listen, we still have these wind farms and we still have installations that are moving forward. For your particular area, are you guys in the clear right now?
As of right now, we're in the clear. And to be frank, from the very beginning, when we came into office and were against these, the threat was Southern Ocean County and Southern New Jersey, but we saw the writing was on the wall, right? So we wanted to be so far out in advance that, it never came here. And quite frankly, the way that they were pushing everything ahead, even I was worried that it wasn't going to stop until people actually saw some of these things off our shoreline, sitting there like the Chrysler Building, blinking at night in this kind of post-apocalyptic version of the future, industrializing our oceans, right? So we caught a little bit of a break. Obviously, all these politicians that were bought and sold for this project now are going to have to try and save some sort of face. I mean, think about the money that they spent. I talked about the ratepayer dollars before, but they also put money in for actual real infrastructure.
That's right.
Like the wind port and some of these other projects. They probably spent another $1 billion of our taxpayer money on infrastructure that's just going to be sitting there deteriorating if they don't jam any of these things through. And just 20 miles south of me right here, they're digging up pristine Island Beach State Park. Look, most of people supporting this are Democrats. They always claim to be environmentally friendly. It's not environmentally friendly what they're doing to Island Beach State Park right now. And those sacrifices that they made to try and jam this through so they could wave that green energy flag for their future purposes, they have to find a way to salvage it. And we all need to be cognizant of that. But I will say one more thing. I think this is a watershed moment for common sense in that, people have finally figured out that you don't need to be scared of standing up. Regular working class people just going about their lives. When they see something stinks, now they are a little bit more willing to stand up and fight for it, whether that's fighting on social media, whether that's attending a rally, whether that's telling their neighbors, whatever it may be. And I think we're going to find people more willing to jump in on issues like this in the future.
It's always good to have a win. It's always good to feel like, given all the things we have pushed back on in the past, really 2 to 3 years, and sometimes longer for a lot of us who have been in this, finally to have a win feels great. But that's exactly when you have to double down, because they're not going to go away easily. And like you said, there's already this investment. They're invested already in this, and they don't walk away from that so easily. I think everyone should take a trip down to Atlantic City and take a look at how horrible these wind farms look. And remember, that's off the coast of where your vacation rental is, where your home is, right? Where everybody, the iconic Jersey Shore, that's coming to you if you don't stay on top of this issue. Now, speaking of advocacy, we have an event coming up this Sunday, November 5th, and you are a central figure because you have so much information on this in this event. Jersey First and AFP New Jersey is hosting this at 10 a.m. at the Boatyard in Point Pleasant Beach. And Mayor, you will be there. The actual name of it is Boatyard 401, isn't it?
Yeah,
do I have that right?
Correct. Yep. Part of our Channel Drive revitalization, right along the water. Everybody knows Spikes, the wharf side, Lobster Shanty. It's right there.
It's right there. So we're really encouraging people to attend, because this is called Pancakes and Policy, but it's an education seminar. And I really believe it's a chance for people to not only learn from you and others who are experts, but to be able to share their opinions, because now is the time. Yes, we had a win and it feels great, but now we have to double down. So what I want you to do quickly, Mayor, is go through, we've touched on a few of them, but I want you to go through all the issues that these projects present, because it's not just dead whales. It's not just digging up the shoreline, and it's not just your energy bill. It's a whole host of things. So go through them.
Oh, how much time do you have, right? Obviously, look, a 15% drop in tourism is a real detriment. And, and in New Jersey, we understand that you need jobs, right? Yeah. But you had people out there saying this was going to create jobs, but they were only talking about the jobs that were going to be created from actually building these turbines and servicing them. They weren't talking about the net amount of jobs, which would be less than that. would actually be a loss of jobs if you took in that 15% loss of tourism, right? That's the first and most important thing. Paying more per kilowatt hour is crazy that we're funding it with billions of our taxpayer dollars, and then you're going to pay more for the privilege of having it anyway, right? It's corporate greed at its most kind of core type value there, right? You get into things like just the ambient noise of it and the humming and the way that sound carries on a quiet day. That's part of the process as well. But think about where we live. Think about how many nor'easters and storms we have. These have never really been tested in sustained 50-mile-an-hour winds. And there's some studies that say that over 50-mile-an-hour winds for any sustained period of time, you could experience a 50% loss of these wind turbines. So now imagine you're looking out and half of them are broken. We know every winter we get nor'easters, we get hurricanes that come through here. We just get regular windy days where we get that out there. And on and on and on. But most importantly, for Point Pleasant Beach, our recreational and commercial fishing industries are absolutely vital to us. The spacing of these things doesn't allow them to drag their nets between the towers and between the turbines and really have access that they need to. The chemicals that cause them to turn are caustic to the environment, and they're definitely going to leak out into the ocean as well. And on and on and on and on. And I'm glad that we're having this event. I'm so grateful to AFP and to Jersey First for doing this. And it's not just the event, it's about action too, right? So we're going to go in and everybody's going to get all excited about this and we're going to talk about it. But then we're actually going to go out and knock on doors afterwards and spread the word. And spreading the word is the most important thing, because nowadays, even take Facebook, for instance, any issues like this get throttled all the time. So it's got to be person to person. That's the only way that we're going to stop things.
Well, speaking of knocking on doors, you're doing a lot of that right now. And I appreciate you stepping out of all that work. You are running for assembly. Now, I am sure Point Pleasant Beach is just so bummed to lose you. However, the fight continues on a broader state level. So you're knocking on doors, you're campaigning. It's looking good, Mayor. You really deserve this one. You're one of the good guys. How important is it in the assembly even for us to continue to fight for this issue? Don't you think that the Speaker and the Senate President are now wondering how much they should double down on this? I mean, voters are starting to be aware.
Right. And look, this is the opportunity to go in for the kill shot and make sure that we set an example for any other foreign corporations that want to come in here and try this, for anybody that they do reach out to say, hey, we'll give you billions of dollars too if you come in and salvage our reputations and salvage this project. So I am really looking forward to getting to the assembly and fighting on issues like this. Parental rights that are equally as nuts right now. The rise in crime here at the Jersey Shore, and my district is awesome. I'm not going anywhere. Point Pleasant Beach, they know that. My district mirrors Point Pleasant Beach. It starts in Spring Lake up there. It goes all the way down to Toms River and South Toms River. It pops out for Brick and Point Borough. So we all share the same family values. We all share kind of the same issues that I'm used to working on. And I think it's a perfect opportunity to go out and be loud and present and hopefully work on this and a whole host of other things.
So many things to work on. And if we could have more people like you representing districts like that, frankly, if we could copy and paste those districts, I'm talking to you from northern New Jersey. Sometimes I feel like we're not helping out very much up here, Mayor. But you guys are the real deal down there. We appreciate everything that you've done. We're excited to see more common sense people like you serving in a broader way. But what you've done already in this fight is incredible. So Sunday, everybody, first of all, come meet the mayor. I mean, I got to tell you, without pumping you up too much, there's a huge future here. I know in New Jersey for you and maybe beyond, just because you think like a normal person. Gee, who would have thought that in itself?
That's the bar. That's how bad things are. That's the bar. You think like a normal human being, right? And it really is. It's staggering. It's staggering how many initiatives we have that the average person, regardless of Republican, Democrat, Independent, the average person thinks is nuts. And that's where we've put the bar, right?
Yeah. It's really almost laughable if it weren't so tragic and scary. And so we have to keep the pressure up. So thank you for serving what you've done already. We're certainly looking forward to a win for you this coming Tuesday. And then there's so much work to do to bring common sense back to Trenton, and everyone who feels like their voice isn't heard. It was heard, guys. We have made progress, but don't give up. Don't just relent back to saying, okay, Mayor will take care of it, because he needs your support. We all have to stand with each other. All right. So Sunday, 10 a.m. at the Boatyard 401, everyone come and meet this superstar, but get educated, share with each other how you feel, and understand how we're going to continue this fight to take back New Jersey, because it's actually working. Mayor, thank you so much. Go back to your door knocking and all the things that you need to do. Best to you. We'll see you Sunday, and we're rooting for you on Tuesday.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth. Great talk. I'll see you Sunday.
All right, you got it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in a week.
Bye, guys.